गुजरा हुआ वक्त और आने वाला वक्त दोनों को कल कहते हैं। ये फैसला हमें करना है कि हम किस कल में रहना चाहते हैं. So this is one of the famous film dialogues which reiterates the importance of time. It was just like yesterday we celebrated the new year and we are almost halfway through the new year. It's almost more than half right now, like with 2 weeks of July passed by. At the beginning of the year, we tend to make resolutions related to healthy eating, fitness, exercising, or cultivating new habits. But as the days pass by, our enthusiasm starts fading and we tend to forget those resolutions in the midst of our busy lives. Then when we realize about them, or when we remember them, we realize that it's almost halfway through and we try to procrastinate thinking that we'll start afresh next year. So our monkey minds tend to get the better of us. It becomes difficult for us to take actions because we try to avoid even assessing where we are in terms of our goals, how far we have reached. So from the past few months, I have been following this weekly journaling and it's been of great help. But when I heard about this mid-year reflection journal or mid-year reset type of journaling, I was of the opinion that it won't be of much help. I didn't even want to try that, but the reality was I was afraid. I was afraid to face the reality. I was afraid that a mirror will be held in front of me showing the reality. And it would not necessarily be what I had expected and what I had dreamt of at the beginning of the year. Clear reflections helps us assess how far we have come in terms of our goals in the past 6 months, how much of our plan we have been able to accomplish, how much we have progressed towards our goal. In fact, it plays a major role depicting the reality. It holds a mirror in front of us and shows us this is where you stand and this is not where you were supposed to be at the beginning of the year. So since this was my first time trying out this mid-year reflections journal, I followed some prompts which was shared by Study with Jess in one of our YouTube videos. So here's how it goes. So first I started by listing out what all the things that I have been completed in the first 6 months, which were major goals and also some minor accomplishments. So after making this list, I started reflecting upon if I'm setting my priorities right, if I'm progressing in the right direction, if I'm unnecessarily draining my energy anywhere where it's not needed. So all this plays an important role so that if there are any major mistakes that you have performed in the first 6 months, in the first half of the year, you can correct that and set your priorities right for the next half of the year, and you can avoid draining your energy unnecessarily. So the next step in this journaling prompt was, how do I feel physically? So it may be like in terms of energy, in terms of mindfulness, in terms of your mental state. I realized that I was not in the best state of mind after half an year because of the hectic schedule that I was going through, or maybe just now I had completed my exams. I don't know for what reason, but I was not in the best state of mind. After making this realization, it's necessary to reflect upon how we can work towards making our mental state better, towards making our physical state better. And sometimes we think that our work is draining our energy or our college life is draining our energy, but in reality it will be our routine which will be draining our energy. So it's necessary to make the distinction, what is draining your energy. So the next prompt was related to self-nurturing, and this is the most important thing. So recently I was reading an article in which it was there, nobody is truly there for you, and it's indeed the truth of life, because no matter how many close acquaintances we have, at the end we have to fight our battles alone, and we are all alone in our lives, in our circumstances. No matter how many people are there to support us, but at the end sometimes we feel that we have to face our difficulties alone. Self-nurturing is also important because we all get so busy in the rat race that we forget that we have a life to live. So the next prompt was, what are my top priorities and goals for the next half of the year? Also here I made sure to write down achievable goals and short-term, and break it down into short-term and long-term goals, because setting high and achievable goals for yourself can be disheartening later on. Aspiring high dreams is not bad, but despite knowing your limitations, setting high and achievable goals can only lead to disappointment and nothing else. So it's necessary to write down specific measurable goals that are within your control. As I've said in one of my previous videos, all of us have got just 24 hours in a day. What matters is how we prioritize the tasks and how we go about to achieve them. Many times at the starting of the year we set certain goals for ourselves and we tend to entirely forget that and get busy in our day-to-day activities. But when we sit down to reflect like this, we remember those goals. That happened with me as well. Some of the goals I had set at the beginning of the year that had totally slipped off my mind. We tend to reflect upon that and we tend to remember that. So not only remembering the tasks or prioritizing the goals, but we need to create a plan of action here to progress towards that goals. Because as they say, a fool with a plan is much better than an intelligent person without a plan. So planning is the key to success, is the key to progress. As I said earlier, if we tend to see large goals, we tend to get overwhelmed by that. So it's necessary to break down into achievable bits, into short-term goals, monthly goals or bi-monthly goals, so that we can easily reflect upon that each month and achieve it by the end of the year without taking any stress. So when we have these large goals broken down into achievable bits, it makes us progressing in the right direction, a cakewalk. So this mid-year reflection was indeed a game changer for me. It gives us a clear path so as to proceed in the next 6 months in terms of our professional life or the personal life. Also, if we have written down something, we are more likely to work towards it. So writing down also gives us the confidence that we know what we have to do next and we're not completely clueless, so that it becomes easy for us. Not only this, it gets your mind clear and improves your ability to focus on certain tasks. So I thoroughly enjoyed this mid-year reflection journaling and I'm definitely going to do more of these. So what about you? I know it's a little late for this type of journaling, but better late than never. At last, I would like to say one of my favorite dialogues from Scam 1992. अभी अपने पास खर्च करने के लिए टाइम ही तो है, नहीं तो सही वक्त टाइम का इंतज़ार करते करते खुद ही खर्च हो जाएंगे. Hope you found some value in this video. If you find it interesting or if you try this, do let me know in the comments. Until next time, take care.